Let's introduce ourselves here. I'm MrCab, and we're gonna be playing Mega Man V in a second. I've got a couple of buddies here in the booth with me. Got Sage Hero and LV Creed.
How's it going, guys? This is Sage.
Well, I'm doing double duties ever since Monday number 9, so we're gonna have ourselves some new Mega and some old Mega, and you know, I'm just all over the place. Let's just get moving, Cabs.
Yep, I'd like to thank Sage and Creed, actually, honestly, too, because you can probably hear my voice is a little scratchy. They've been drafted into commentary here at the last moment. But we're all Mega Man fans. I'm hearing we should get moving, so I bet you're wondering how we got here into this magical room. Let's find out. So let's go ahead as soon as we're on the full screen. Looks like we are. In 3, 2... Oh, my goodness, that's not right. Clicking around the screen at the last minute to get your splits highlighted. I'm sorry. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, we have some Star Droids. Creed, do you remember the plot of this game?
Yeah, technically the plot of the game is that all of a sudden these Star Droids just want to come out of nowhere and just running amok on our glorious planet Earth. Mega Man winds up meeting Terra along the way and winds up getting completely destroyed and wrecked by Terra. His buster that he got from Mega Man Ivy, pretty much being useless, and after some time, Dr. Light fixed Mega Man, give him our glorious Mega Arm that you're seeing right here as we're going deep into Neptune stage, and that's pretty much going to be our main focus and our main weapon throughout the entire game. That's how we're going to be defeating our Star Droids.
I do love that, like, the full buster shot, completely useless against them, but as soon as Mega Man's arm gets upgraded, suddenly the lemons are useful again. But
He's powered up. He's got his fist power now.
He's all powered up.
So this was a 1990, I believe, 1994 game, and if you played the other Game Boy games, they're all kind of don't mean this in a bad way, but they're rehashes of the NES games. This is the first one that's actually all original. Like, this is not based off any of the other Mega Man games.
Mm-hmm. This game is really cool in that respect, and it's got nice new and original music to go with it. I love the music in this game.
Yeah, the music is actually pretty great. Neptune being one of my favorites, of course. But yeah, one thing that the game really also didn't quite, well, it did kind of carry over. This game is kind of laggy.
Just a bit.
So yeah, we're gonna have to try to work with lag throughout the entire game. But for now, we know that Cal's gonna be able to manage it as best as possible. One of the better Mega Man V players that at least I know.
There's really only a handful of sub 45 times on the board, so if I get sub 45 in this run, a miracle has occurred though, so I'll have to apologize for even bringing that up. Like you're saying, there's a lot of just lag in this game. Pretty much anything in the air on Game Boy, Mega Man 3, 4, and 5 will lag the game horribly. So we want to just avoid that as much as possible, which is why we're going to get in Neptune's face here. DPS with the fist is to use the half charge, which will do 2 points of damage.
Kind of similar to, I think, Mega Man 8. It's just faster to do a half charge for 2 points than it is to wait for the full charge.
Exactly.
And as you can expect, we're doing Neptune first. As with Mega Man tradition, we always go for the stage. If it's not for the weapon itself, it's for the stage that probably has the least amount of need for any extra utilities and such.
There are 2 stages that kind of fit that description in this game, but Neptune is useful in Mercury Stage, as it turns out, and Neptune Stage is just a mess. It does work out to be a good weakness weapon. The salt water is just really strong. Shoutouts to PJ Salt.
Yeah, considering a name like Saltwater winds up being one of the more useful weapons in Mega Man V is kind of interesting. It's like Water Balloon in Mega Man 8 just being a feared weapon.
Salt water is at least corrosive. That's like the best I've got for it. But, whoa, it drops. We have the extra, like, little trick with this weapon of if you're holding a direction, like, up or forward, it will actually change the arc of the shot just a little bit. It's a little fun thing to keep in mind. But also the, there's so much lag in this game. It is the most expensive weapon we will have. It's 2 points of ammo per shot. There's only 19 in a full meter in this game. It's actually the only weapon other than a fully charged Pluto that will use more than 1 point of ammo.
And weapon management is really, really important in this game, as you're going to find out.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, a little over into Mercury Stage. Pretty much kind of like this factory industrial complex. As you saw, a lot of conveyors were going through the crushers. Cab doing an excellent job going through that, taking damage as needed, so you wind up not wasting time trying to get stuck in the crusher cycle so you can just move as quickly as possible. So just carrying on, trying to navigate all the random obstacles, just making sure that Mega Man can get through.
Ooh,
Get
made
through
it.
Make sure Mega Man is able to get through each and every obstacle as quickly as possible.
So probably caught something there. We'll see if I can get it to happen here with yeah, the snapback. When Mega Man's fist is flying back to him, it actually still does the 2 or 3 points of damage. So we can use that in a couple of spots to hit enemies more than once. Those guys have 6 hit points each, and one shot just did it. So this is Mercury. It has this amazing pattern.
Thanks, Mercury.
Yep. So
Great game.
the one thing about it is that it actually depends on whether he has an even or odd number of hit points left. So we can actually manipulate him to do the faster pattern here by only doing 2 points of damage. There were some early runs on the Speed Demos archive that used Neptune's weapon to make this happen. Once we figured out how it actually works, here we go. But it's actually, that's the faster pattern than going with all cross the room fast patterns by like 2 seconds. Just because you end up with fewer patterns overall.
Here's a quick note about the weapon I'm about to get. Fortunately, since he was manipulated, you didn't get to see it. Well, you probably got to see it earlier, but yeah, the Grab Buster, if Mercury was able to shoot Mega Man with it, it will make Mercury get a little bit of health back as the energy will retract back to him. So of course you never want to get hit by the Grab or Snatch Buster in this case, and just hopefully not to give Mercury any health back. Of course, since you got it, you will be able to have that same capability, and that'll help like if you're low on energy, so you can use it as a last resort in that regard.
Actually, for Mercury, it takes away your stored items more than it actually heals him. But you definitely still don't want to get hit by it. You'll start losing E-tanks and W-tanks, and hopefully we never see that happen. It does actually have a nice property besides just the actual healing part. It does 2 points of damage per shot. So that is why we want it from Mars' stage. Mercury's weapon has no other purpose to this stage other than it's just nice to do that much more damage. Jumping monkeys. Oh good, we made that.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yep.
I died to those spikes in practice today. 2 spike slides have to be the absolute worst thing in a lot of these games.
Yeah, be prepared to see this mini boss another time. It's one of those mid bosses that you see quite a bit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shoot them right in their face. Using the grab buster to get those extra points of damage to destroy it as quickly as possible. Making sure that you're on the floating platforms, not in a compromised position where you fall into the pits and die. Because of course, dying is bad.
Especially with these stages are just extra long. Checkpoints are sometimes in really weird spots. Oh my goodness. I want to forget that mid-boss fight ever actually happened. That was really slow and really bad. But we did it. we talked about flying things causing lag, and you're seeing missiles, other shots, these little spiny missiles. Just everything's flying in the air in this stage, and it's awful. Oh, that's good. We got the boost.
Nice, nice.
That's the Tremaine boost. Shouts to Tremaine, who did a lot of work researching this game.
Literal Mega Man Game Boy legend Tremaine. But yeah, with this being a weapons complex, you're seeing a lot of armaments just littered all over the place. With that, just a lot of enemy sprites. Just once again, lag being the big deal in this game. Gotta try to manage it as much as possible.
So here's a thing I mentioned. Neptune, the arc changes based on where you shoot. That's forward shot. Here's a down shot. Neptune is the weakness here, and it happens to take that sort of tombola enemy out in 2 shots, so that's nice. It's possibly a double hit to open this fight. It's laggy, but okay.
So we do not want to see a splash here, because that's just going to lag up everything. There we go.
Yup.
Clean fight.
It looks cool to hit him twice. And actually, in the refights, spoilers, you actually want the double hit just for ammo concerns. So it's kind of weird. That's the only difference between the 2 fights that you want to see.
It's funny in a lot of these older games, both Game Boy and NES, it's a lot of times, even if you have to go out of your way to kill an enemy or pick up something, it's actually faster just to get it off the screen and stop lagging the game. Just get out of here, you know.
Half the reason to kill these enemies is to get them off the screen, especially if they're flyers.
But coming up to Venus' stage, and Venus' stage is actually kind of intriguing. It's one of the general gimmick of this stage is that there's gonna be some areas where you get some bubbly floors. So the thing about this is it can affect your movement, especially your jump. So I mean, it's been, like I said, it's been a while since I played Mega Man 5s. Is the higher jump holding while you're on a specific spot on the bubble?
When we get to those screens, you'll see there's like a big bubble and a small bubble kind of alternating on the floor. And the big bubbles will give you the big jump. The small bubbles won't. And naturally, there are very important reasons to want a specific type of jump. So have fun.
Also, you're noticing the waterfalls. Do not get under them do not get them while they're coming down by any means. Anytime you get caught by the initial flush, it will knock you straight down to a pit, and yeah, that's an instant death.
Yep. There's one slight exception to that, but in general, yeah, you don't want to be standing underneath it on the ground. The exception is a ladder. As long as you're not trying to climb the ladder.
Beautiful.
That was like one of the funniest discoveries in this game. I feel like it's such a minor thing. It doesn't save any time.
Yeah, I actually kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, and that's like the only place it's relevant.
Say hi and bye to Eddie.
Yep. Hi, bye, Eddie. Don't hold right here because you'll bounce off that high bubble right into the spikes, and then you'll be sad. But yeah, those bubbles, they're kind of annoying. It's funny. It looks great. And then you'll see the screen that's coming up with them. Aw, game. These are the bubble crabs. I think they used them again in Mega Man 4 minus Infinity. Of course, I also said bubble crab, so maybe there's an X2 reference here.
Yeah, those are pretty annoying enemies. The bubbles will actually engage you, and they will lead you on, mostly likely to pits or spikes, whatever. You never want to get caught in them, regardless of the...
I hate that room so much.
Nice lineup for the spikes there.
Yeah, just like not going into those spikes is really annoying. And then of course in this room you don't want to bonk. This is a Mega Man Game Boy game with these like all these rooms that just have lots of spikes in just the right place to mess you up.
And it's not like other Mega Mans where you just like slide right under the spikes, right?
Yeah, you will stand up under those spikes if you slide too early. And then it's very easy to slide too late. You have a slide that's probably 3.5 tiles to get underneath that 2 tiles gap, so it's painful. This is Venus. He jumps whenever you shoot. The fight isn't 100% scripted, and your muscles can be canceled by his bubble shots, but it's not too complicated. Also, I'm out of ammo. Wow. Even then, though, there was, for a little bit of time, a thought of like a Venus first route, because the Venus bubbles are actually really effective against the choppers in the start of Neptune stage. But, so it turns out that fighting Venus with Buster is pretty easy. But, of course,
Also,
the stage is better with Mars.
I was about to say, shoutouts to Venus's crab walk when you fight him.
The crab walk.
To be fair, when the crabs be shooting bubbles, so a little bit of connection there.
Yeah, if I could just jump in real quick. I'm Fear Agent, and I'll be your host for the next couple hours. Things have gone fast and furious over here at SpeedGaming 2. We did get a donation from Tyler Salt for $12. I wanted to shout that out. And if you want to get your donations in, you can head over to the Matcherino site. We've got that linked in the chat, and make some donations. We have also the incentives coming up for the next run, which will be Ninja Gaiden Black costume choice. So get your donations in if you'd like to choose what costume color they use.
We actually have 30 seconds here. If you've got more things to say, like what costumes do we have? Ninja Gaiden Black. It's been a while.
Yeah, you would think it was just black. Let me see. Let me pull up the costume choices. We've got Black Falcon, Dragon Muscle, Red Muffler, Dead or Alive, or Classic Blue. Those are your options. So
We're playing Mega Man, so I've got to say Classic Blue. Can we get Classic Blue going someplace?
Classic Blue for NES. Yeah.
Yeah. So, after we defeat the 4 star droids that he brought to Earth, Terra, or Earth, depending on which version of this game you're on, decides that it's been too much, brings his good friend Dark Moon, who might look a little familiar, to attack.
No, this guy's unique. New robot.
Yeah, no. So yeah, not Yellow Devil. Cab was trying to set up for a quick kill, but using the photon torpedo for this is insanely precise. You pretty much is not expected to get it at all.
Yeah.
So you just pretty much just hoping to get as many shots per pass as possible.
To get the quick kill, the 1 cycle kill, you need to have 5 jumps, and in each of those jumps you need to plant a missile in its eye, like I tried to do with the first jump, except it dinked off the closed eye. In 2 of those jumps you need to kind of wiggle back and forth and place another missile that kind of like lines up. You've probably noticed those missiles take a minute before they actually start to fire forward. You basically need those behind the missile you plant in its eye so that the iframes from the missile you plant in its eye go away, and then that shot comes in. So it's possible. Saves you 20 seconds. Good luck. We are...
Nice shot here.
Yep. So after that, Mega Man... Dr. Light says, oh wow, there's a bunch of robots in space. This is really bad. And Mega Man says, how about we go fly out and take them out first? That'd be cool. Dr. Light's like, oh, sweet. While I fix Rush to go and fly through space, why don't you buy a W tank? And you say, sure. You get an enforced shopping trip there. We take advantage of it to buy that W tank. And Rush Marine in space, everybody.
Making an interstellar call, I say.
Yeah. Need that W tank to make the trip, man.
Make the call for long distance.
And yeah, about weapons in this game. In some cases, you will not have those weapon energies refilled. So yeah, that weapon tank actually is pretty necessary.
Yep. So this stage, you probably already noticed, I took 8 points of damage to start things off, which is really painful.
Yeah, those tanks are just absolute monsters. 2 or 3 hits, I think, is enough to do you in.
Yep. Whoa! 3 hits will do it. I don't know how much damage I just took. But yeah, the way the stage ends up working out, if you don't want to get any health drops, you need to boost through 2 of those tanks, and then take a damage boost from something else to take only 2 points of damage to get past the 3rd tank. So, have fun. Actually, no, I still want this equipped. And you've probably already noticed Mars, every shot I fired at the Yellow Devil is still missing from our ammo meter here. So weapon energy does not refill between stages for the rest of the game. We're going to switch to Mercury here just because, like I said earlier, I don't know how much damage I just took. You can see there is a lot of damage. Don't want to die to that. So Mercury's weapon does heal you. It's incredibly useful for getting through the stage alive without having to slow down too much. Plus, you still have the added benefit of it does still do extra damage compared to Lemon's. The only problem, of course, is now I've used a lot of it.
Yeah, so he's not going to have that when he needs it later. Have to refill at some point.
Mm-hmm. We're hoping for a refill actually right here.
Yeah, it's really good to get random enemy refills. This is one of the few games where you're cheering to get one.
Well, we want the S capsule here. We did not get it. We got an E-tank, of all things. Because I did not get an extra life, and we heard the kind of sound.
Surely you won't need it.
Surely. Let's hope so. This is Pluto, and he's actually weak to Mercury's weapon. Oh no, we took a hit. Mostly concerned about the hit because it means that we just didn't get a 5th hit in while he was on the ground on that side of the screen. That means we needed 4 bubbles to kind of slowly float up the wall, lagging the game while we take him out. Obviously still faster to do that than to wait for him to come down.
Yeah, it's safe to say that having Pluto cling on the walls is not necessarily the thing you want to have happen, but yeah, you know, those things just happens.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to say, now you got yourselves a little bit of an interesting weapon here, the break dash. Of course, it starts off with a pellet, but the thing about the break dash is, of course, you charge it and you get yourself a little bit of a straightaway contact damage dash. But one of the interesting things about this is the extra property is that if you're, and you can correct me if I'm misinterpreting, but yeah, if you charge it and fire it in a specific way, you can actually use it as a means to get some instant iframes.
You will always get iframes from it. Ugh. Of course, you also get iframes from bumping into enemies you don't mean to. But you always get iframes from it, whether it's like the minimal charge you can get out of this weapon or the full charge. And those iframes themselves actually have a very odd property that if you've played Mega Man 4 on the NES will sound very familiar. For some reason, while you're sliding, those iframes don't run out. So we're going to see that very briefly in this stage here, a couple of spots. It's going to be very, almost imperceptible unless you're looking for it.
Yeah, just like Brightman's weapon from Mega Man 4, it's basically when you're sliding, those frames aren't counting down, so you get a certain number of frames. You get a certain number of frames. But once you, like, if you slide, you can just extend that. You can do entire rooms just in iframes.
That's the hardest jump in the game because it's very easy to get knocked into the pit. And by the way, this is the checkpoint screen, so if you fall in that pit, you get to do the entire stage again.
And yeah, the stage is pretty much just, of all the stages that are in the space station, this is actually one of the ones that actually makes use of the anti-gravity sections on the outside. Also, you got to deal with these. What is it? This is, no, that's ice. Right?
Yeah, there's ice physics in here too. Low gravity physics, ice physics. This stage is a stage. You might have seen there one of the first little Pluto just extending iframes through the electricity on the ground. You'll see it a little bit in this next room too. Don't mind that ladder up there. We're not playing that category. Oh, drops.
Nice, nice.
You can see like Mega Man is no longer flashing as we're going through some of those last enemies. But we're not getting damage either because we were doing a quick slide to get into that jump. It's crazy, but it's useful. So Venus's weapon goes up to hit the top of the screen. Go figure. We have a star droid that likes to live up on the top of the screen, so it's very effective.
One of those obvious functional weaknesses in this pretty much regard.
Venus's weapon is actually amazingly strong. It is very effective in this stage and a lot of other stages in this game, but the explosion, unfortunately, is just really laggy. If not for that, it would probably be used a lot more. Of course, also taking away from its utility as just a power weapon is the electric shock itself. You can see it here, just kind of extends out, hits an enemy multiple times. If you're playing this game on the 3DS, by the way, it will not destroy that enemy in the demo. Iframes for enemies are just slightly longer on the 3DS Virtual Console version for some reason. And shoutouts to Brooke for figuring that one out. We're really noticing it.
So heading into Saturn Stage, the main gimmick of Saturn Stage is this place has fluctuating gravity spots that's lit all over the place. So you can see in the background the 2Gs and the half Gs of gravity force. It's pretty much the main gimmick of how you platform. So naturally, if you see the half Gs, you get a slightly higher jump. The added weight from the 2Gs wind up making Mega Man's jump a little lower because you're heavier. So yeah, you're gonna have to deal with that throughout some precarious jumps over pits, over spikes, and yeah, like that right there.
Jupiter's weapon also doesn't let you walk while it's being fired, but you can slide cancel out of it and you can jump around while it's active. Eddie? Thank you.
Hey. Good boy, Eddie.
The one game you actually want Eddie to give you a lot of weapon drops all the time.
Yeah.
Because we will be using Jupiter's weapon a lot. What do we need? We need this.
And so that becomes a common thing where it's like, okay, we gotta drop, what do we need?
Neptune is usually what you want, but that's right, I didn't get an S-Tank at all, so I need everything.
Let's see more precarious jumps with the different gravity spikes.
Whoa.
The low gravity and the high.
You might have missed it there, but you heard like an extra whap in that jump. The electric shock also destroys small bullets, which is great. Don't fight Saturn with Buster. Just don't do it.
Get a little bit of boom toss, little bit of suction. Of course, he has his primary weapon, the black hole, winds up doing quite a bit of damage. All that pretty much mitigated by the electric shock.
Yeah. He kind of gets like fighting game corner trapped, just destroyed over there.
When he's using that kind of suction and black hole attack, actually, that will absorb all of your lemons. If you fire the mega arm, your fist just kind of gets stuck in it for a little while. And so you're just kind of sitting there waiting, losing time, and you're very sad. Even if you're playing the game casually, not trying to go fast, you're very sad. But of course, when you come in here with electric shock, as you just saw, the fight's a joke. Also, shoutouts to RushJet, hopefully never seen in this run.
So, we do have another pet that we never seen as well.
We don't talk about that pet.
Okay then.
You can talk about Tango. It's okay.
But yeah, Tango's rarely seen. Pretty much it's your new attack kitty that you get from the start of the game. Pretty much just rolls into a ball and just attacks enemies. No more, no less. You literally never see it in the run, and of course you never really see him again unless it's like in cameos.
That jump is very tight.
It's kind of tight to get over there. There is a tight jump. You can make it directly up to the ammo. Shouts to this boss that really belongs in Pharaoh Man stage, but here it is. You can take out that mid-boss with Jupiter's weapon. It's slightly faster to do it that way from the perspective of less weapon swaps on the menu. But weapon ammo, of course, is at a premium. These are the two screens where Rush Coil is useful in the game.
Thanks, Rush.
Eddie? Ooh, I love it.
Eddie being quite friendly in this run. Well, decently friendly.
He is. One
Where
other
Proto
just-
Man was just a jerk.
Proto Man was a jerk. It's probably because I keep telling people to use the brake split, but that's a whole nother story. Where are all these drops coming from?
Of course, the main platforming gimmick at this stage are those rotating platforms. The longer you stand, the more Mega Man just sinks until you get to a point where you just literally fall through them and you get dipped into spikes. It's, you know, that kind of routine. But other than that, Uranus's stages is not that eventful. You just gotta make sure your platforming in specific areas is just pretty much tight and take proper care of where you stand, where you jump. You know, the general deal in these kinds of Mega Man platformers.
Yep. There's just like a lot of little things in the stage where you gotta make sure you're not falling the spikes. Like if you jump forward here to go right, you will go directly into those spikes. So don't do it. Okay. You can try and rush this room with Pluto. It'll work. But of course, you know, high risk of death. Don't do it in a marathon setting. This is Uranus. You get a quick kill, right?
Yeah, of course that depends if you actually... Oh, never mind.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
So whenever Uranus jumps and Mega Man, you saw it during like his entrance, the ground shakes and Mega Man gets the jitters on the ground a little bit there. That will interrupt the Pluto dash, the break dash. So he actually kind of defends himself against his weakness a little bit. And Uranus otherwise takes pretty much 1 damage from everything. I think there's a couple of damage charts that mention that Electric Shock might do 2 points of damage, which goes back to it stays out, so it has a good probability of being able to hit something twice. But yeah, as you just saw, if you just kind of dash across the screen, the even quarter charge version of Pluto does the full amount of damage, so you could take care of business.
That was the Gutsman equivalent for this game, by the way.
Totally is.
Yeah,
I love it.
In the area of the room is, as we see Terra on the screen, I wonder what weakness weapon we're about to use.
I wonder what he's weak against.
But yeah, the thing about Uranus's room is that there are times where when he jumps and breaks the ground, there is sections of the ceiling that will fall on top of you and can instantly crush and kill you, so be aware of that. Meanwhile, we're throwing blocks in Terra's Earth's face.
You kind of want to end up on
Go
top
ahead.
of the blocks there, yeah, so he doesn't have to jump up.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention real quick, we did get a donation from Tempest Mask 1000 saying, "Thanks for having me, SpeedGaming. A pleasure to be mighty for you all. For now, as Brand says, fate as else in store. Good luck, Cab."
You know, thanks, Tempest.
Oh yeah, this weapon. It's pretty good.
It's the beat weapon for this game, basically. Like the chase random enemies around.
So we got all the Star Droids defeated. All
did it.
things is back to normal, and what is this that is floating over the
Oh,
horizon over here?
That's a small moon. It's fine.
That's no moon.
Are you saying it's a space station?
Most moons have skulls, I think.
Skulls?
I'm pretty sure they don't.
Is there a small W on top of that skull?
Oh boy.
Not this again.
And we out of here.
Make the call.
So, as you expected, once again, Dr. Raleigh's behind the whole Star Droid invasion, and it's up to us to go straight right into space, right into the interestingly named Wily star, and take it out. But before we do that, we got a little bit of a space smug.
The asteroids here are scripted every single time, so just know how to get through them and you'll be fine. The little fighters that are coming up are not so scripted. They are annoying. They appear on the edge of the screen. They have 4 hit points each. They move at 1 of 3 speeds. That's the slow one. Oh no, I missed.
So unfortunately, because you can only shoot to the right, if they get behind you, it's kind of a problem.
Especially if they're moving slow.
Don't you have a bit? Yeah, look like you're pressing the jump button again to get a little bit of a thrust. So if you had to do like a quick escape, you can just do that and try to do some bobbing and weaving to try to avoid getting hit so much.
Yep, and when you get hit, you can't charge, so it's just really bad. These lasers are scripted too. I'm kind of lining that bolt behind Rush's head up with the W and weapon at the bottom of the screen to get a horizontal position, kind of like centering yourself at the end of a boss fight. This Mega Man always goes to this spot on the screen. I don't think it saves like significant time. It's just something to do while you're just dodging lasers anyway.
Yeah, any amount of time counts. So we're going to be shooting for 5 damage a cycle here. So a fully charged Buster and then 2 lemons.
If you're the TAS, you can do a full charge, a lemon, and another full charge, but the timing on that is super tight. We missed one.
That's okay. You get 1 miss. No more.
And since we're pretty much doing a little bit of wash and repeat, do you have any small, quick thing or announcement to give us if you're agent right quick?
No, we still have just a little bit more time left for the Ninja Gaiden costume choice. Right now, the Classic Blue is winning. So if you want to get the donations in, there's just a little bit more time left for that.
It's a very good 4 cycle.
There we go. So, I would like to, just get past all these with Pluto's iframes, but I also need to make sure I have enough to get through this wall right here. A little shortcut. By not taking the bottom path, we confirm we don't need to see Rush Jet today. Need to save that 1 point of ammo still, so that we can get past one of those Pluto tank enemies again.
Oh, we got ourselves a familiar looking face over here.
Anchor?
So if you haven't played the other Mega Man Game Boy games, there's a unique boss, like a new boss in each of the first 4, and this is from the first one.
Just like the first game, Anchor is only weak to Buster. Only vulnerable even to Buster. Forget weak. But this time we have a charge shot on our side, so it makes it just a little bit easier.
So yeah, just to come on the Wily Star, this is literally a behemoth of a stage. As mentioned earlier, since you saw Anchor, you pretty much almost guaranteed to face all of the Mega Man killers as you progress through the stage. So next up is our favorite mechanized pogo stick boy, Quint. And I believe that we're going to be using photon torpedoes to try to take out Pogo Boy here as quickly as possible.
We don't have crash bombs or hard knuckle. We do have photon missiles that are sort of the big floaty in the air weapon in this game, which is nice to say now, but it's really the only other time we get to say that about these killers.
What a guy. Just wants to ride his pogo stick.
It's future Mega Man on his pogo stick. I did promise we would see the iframe slide thing at one point. Iframe's still active. And that wall is the one point in the game, if you're doing Buster only, you have to use a special weapon.
So again, he's sliding through because he still has those iframes active from his charge. Even though he's not flashing anymore, the game hasn't actually run out of them yet.
Yeah, that first screen is good for that. They run out in that second screen, but by then there's no other enemies in your way anyway.
This guy's name is Punk. Yep.
Mega Man 3 Game Boy, he is only vulnerable to Buster. Salt water, like we said earlier, extremely corrosive. Keep it away from your sharp objects. They finally decided to put spikes in these falls. funny thing about those spikes, if they run into you sideways, for whatever reason, it won't kill you as long as you're not pushing in a horizontal direction on the D-pad. They'll just push you along. It's just kind of weird.
Alright, so we're on to our final Mega Man Killer and Blade. Looks like we're going to be using bubbles to literally burst his bubble. Yeah.
That hurts.
Just like Mega Man 4 Game Boy, Blade, for some reason, doesn't know how to make his way all the way to that leftmost tile on the screen to actually body Mega Man. So we once again take advantage of that fact. And I told you we would find out how we got to this point, and here we are.
What could this be? Who knows?
It's mystery room. There could be anything in here.
Yeah, we knew what we were going to be doing here. So yeah, aside from doing all the Mega Man Killers plus Coin, we got ourselves a good old boss rush. And naturally, you're going to have to navigate with all the weapon loss that we had during the previous stages, so managing ammo throughout the previous stage is going to be paramount up to this point.
Yeah.
I think we actually did pretty good. There are some runs where you just don't get any weapon ammo at all, and you're just going through like the very end of the game, like praying for something, and you get here and you have to come up with like all these, tertiary backup strats, also known as just use the buster and hope for the best. We do have a fair amount of Neptune here. This is pretty good. Usually Neptune is the weapon you have almost none of, and you get here into the Mars fight, and I mentioned way back when, you kind of want the double hit here in this fight. Because we're already out. Fortunately, Mars has a soft weakness of Jupiter, which happens to be the weapon we want for Saturn in the next capsule anyway. The one thing is if you're low on Jupiter for some reason, please kill Saturn first. Because if you have to fight one of them with the Buster, you want it to be Mars, not Saturn. And probably the weirdest weakness ever in this whole circle of weapons. Turns out Neptune's weakness is Earth?
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, every single star droid here is following a weakness chain. So, like we saw Terra getting beaten up by the Deep Digger, surprisingly, Terra's weapon fits within the weakness circle and winds up being weak to Neptune.
Neptune has a weakness from the endgame, so does Mercury. We'll see that shortly.
Fortunately, I have some to spare.
And Venus, besides just being like a really powerful weapon, you have tons of it. Venus is just a really, really good weapon. It's just also laggy, and this is a speed run. Second verse is same as the first.
You should be seeing our boy dunk the ceiling down on us, and yep, pretty much a fast kill. Once again, don't let him drop the ceilings down on you. That is a crush death if you get caught under it.
So for whatever reason, if you hold it down and then let go in that sort of opening sequence, you'll get like a half charge, but you'll keep it there, which is what you actually want for this fight. That gets Mega Man out of the dash before Mercury shoots and before he gets hit by the shot. Even though the shot won't do any actual damage, it will steal some ammo or potentially an item from you. And remember, we bought that W tank a long time ago. We actually want it now. Yeah. The next two bosses in sequence are both weak to Neptune, and we don't have enough Neptune in 1 meter to take care of them both. And that's why we got 30p chips at the start of the game.
Alright, Proto Bro. What's it gonna give us this
What's
time?
it got?
That'd be nice.
He's very nice.
Uh,
So, if Proto Man decides to give you the S capsule there, which refills everything, at this point in the game, we have all the ammo we need. So we're just kind of stuck watching all your meters fill up and 8 seconds bleed away for nothing. And then you're very sad because you got 40 minutes into a speed run and then RNG stole a lot of time from you. I feel like I usually get a 5th hit there. That's not a big deal.
Alright, so simple first phase of this particular set of bosses. First, just try to home in on Mega Man, drops down the fish. You get a little bit of a crumble, but yeah, the main thing is just try to shove his fish down Mega Man's face. The second one is a little bit more complex.
Yep. That's also a good case, though, of you want to hold up when you're firing Neptune in that fight, just because you might not have your jump eaten. I'm listening for a audio cue here.
Yeah, as you notice, the fist is a little faster to come down, but not only is fast, it's faster overall. It moves faster, moving left to right. You see it fires a missile, and it's trying to pinch Mega Man in such a way that it kind of grabs you and trying to slam you down back on the ground. You know, the hit for massive damage. So yeah, you don't want to get caught by that. Waste time and does a lot of damage.
Again, that's something Mega Man 4 runners might recognize, getting picked up and dropped.
I never even really thought about that. Is this the Cossack Wily catcher?
Yeah.
So, this boss kind of has 3 things. It shoots out some missiles, kind of a snail head, and then this like bomb that you're supposed to bounce back into it to actually damage the damn thing. Certainly there's no reason I'm doing this. Also, then there's a second phase unless you do that.
Just a glitch. You have to kill it in that way with that weapon, right?
You have to deliver the last hit with the black hole. I think you can damage it as much as you want with bombs as long as the last hit is Saturn. And you have to kind of basically deploy the black hole inside its hitbox. That's why we're using the Pluto Dash to get in there with the iframes, because if you get bodied by the thing that's standing still, you get sent flying backwards. And then there's a second phase to that fight where it kind of comes down. The ceiling spikes are actually just damaging spikes. They don't kill you, but they're really low. It's hard to hit Wily. You're using the Spark Chaser, the Earth weapon, to kind of get in there. Wily is almost always weak against the Mega Man Killer's special boss weapon in these games. But we were going through all these solar system names. This is Sunstar.
Or Sun God, depending on where you are.
True. Sun God takes 1 point of damage from everything. So
this
we're going
is
to
like
use Pluto.
So this is like an ancient weapon that Wily just happened to find and activate, and the guy doesn't like Wily telling him what to do, so he basically sends Wily away.
You think that'd be Dr. Robotnik's stick for those Sonic fans that like to see someone, you know, play with something that's beyond their control?
The Eggman and Wily do get along in the comic books from what I hear.
But yeah, each tier, when you get to a certain amount of health, Sunstar will do varying attacks. So of course you just want to avoid each and every one of them. They will deal quite a bit of damage.
Go Tango, go! I can't believe that worked.
I thought we weren't supposed to be talking about that cat.
Never mention the cat.
You brought it out. We had to mention it.
Tango is your beat for this game. He's supposed to be a summoned cat that turns into a buzzsaw and jumps around and damages things. It's really just a lag generator. But killing the final boss with Tango is the greatest meme of this game.
So the gist of this conversation, if I remember right, is Mega Man offers to help Sun God, but Sun God is too damaged and instead is going to blow up and take out the Wily star, the giant Wily space station, with him.
Yeah, he does mention that, you know, he would go. Like, he's not, like, angrily self-destructing. He's just like, no, you should leave before I go nuclear because there's no stopping that now. But, that's actually it. Time happened a little while ago. I see what happened. I missed the split somewhere along the way.
But yeah, GG's Cap. Good run.
Thanks for jumping in last minute on the commentary, guys. No,
Yeah, sure.
Once
no
we hear the
problem.
awesome fanfare, I'm fine signing off. Thanks, SpeedGaming, for having me. Everybody, please help support SpeedGaming and these great events. These are awesome, and we love that we have like such a great community resource here. And yeah, let's go Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Cab. Get a big GG's in chat for Mr. Cab and that really fun Mega Man 5 run. That was great.
Check out the Mega Man leaderboards for everything, for all the Mega Man strats. We've got our Discord. You know how these things kind of work out. And we'll be happy to have you. See everybody later. And I'm good.
All right, so I hope you all enjoyed that run of Mega Man 5 and Mr. Cab.